Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cam's rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Hank's Think Tank. So we're back in it again. Mark Hogan couldn't make it today. He's got some stuff going on. But I've got Jerry Reasner in here, and he is running for another term as a city council person for the city of Roman Forest. Jerry's a good guy, and we're going to talk a little bit about today about what's going on at the city, about the job as a council person, about qualifications, and all that kind of good stuff. I do plan on interviewing everyone that would like to come on the show that's running for these positions at Roman Forest, and I'd like it all to culminate into another forum that we're going to hold there at the city. I just haven't picked a date for all that stuff yet. But good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and welcome aboard, Jerry. How's it going?
Going well. Thank you, Hank. And I want to thank you for having me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. So I want to dive right in. I had a couple of people comment. They had watched some of the last shows that we did last go around, and they wanted to get a little bit more into the qualifications that everyone has for becoming or being a city council person. Now, you're already on city council, correct?
Yes.
But what do you think uniquely qualifies you to continue that position?
Well, I've been working with the city since, 2006, 2007 with parades. I've done a lot of work. It helped the parks out with electrical down at the pavilion, run the parade, helped raise funds for the 4th of July. Know most of the officers at the Roman Forest, in the Roman Forest Police Department. I'm chairman of the advisory council for the East Montgomery County, or advisory board, I guess you would call it, for the East Montgomery County law enforcement provider. We provide in-service training for law enforcement. I try to stay very close to the activities going on at the city, so I know everybody. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that for years, and the opportunity came when I ran for office last time to run for office, and it fit what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go next. I've been retired for many years, and I believe rather than complain about something, if there's something you want to complain about, you do something about it. Don't sit back and complain. There was nothing I particularly complained about or wanted to complain about, but I just thought I could help, and I'm glad I did. It's been a learning experience.
Okay. And you've been on the board for 1 year or 2 years?
1 year.
1 year?
Yeah.
And so how come you're already up? I thought it was 2-year terms.
It normally is a 2-year term, but
okay.
My predecessor, he needed to retire, quit, and because of family issues.
Okay.
And or family opportunities, however you want to say it.
Sure.
And so normally the mayor would appoint somebody if the time to run was far enough out, but it was close enough, so it was the proper thing to do for me to run for office last time.
Okay.
And
so there was already an election for the other positions.
For the other positions.
Okay.
And that position, that gentleman had a year left to go on his term, so I became elected or was elected, and spent, and now it's time again to run. And that was a decision I had to make. Mm-hmm. I thought long and hard about that. I talked with my wife, and I talked with the mayor. I talked with the city administrator, and made the decision that there was some things, other things I would continue like to help with at the city.
Okay.
And that's so I'm running again. I hope I'm able to complete the term, but if not, why, they'll appoint somebody or have them elected to replace me.
I don't see why you wouldn't be able to complete the term. I think you'd be able to make it.
Well, I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good. So has there been anything in this past year that you've either learned about or you've gotten to work with that feels right for Jerry Reasner? Like something you have championed, you said, okay, this is the thing that I want to take on.
Well, there's been a couple of things. First, Hubbard Park. I remember Hubbard Park before it had an antenna, and then we went through IguanaNet with wireless internet.
Right, and that's behind City Hall, right?
And that's behind City Hall.
Okay.
And there was a lot of material placed there about, 6 years ago, I guess, when they redid the ditches and the roads. And so that area needs to be cleaned up, and its true purpose was to be a city park. And it's time now that we make that a city park. And I had an agenda item. We approved that initiative, and now we are moving forward. The next thing is to get money and have a survey done so we know where all the property lines are, if we have to do any grading, what kind of drainage issues are concerned. Because when they smoothed out some of that dirt, it was higher than it was, and there have been complaints about some flooding in people's backyards.
Oh, okay.
So the goal there is to do whatever grading we need. We'll also put, at such time as we're ready to go and have all the properties marked, then we'll ask for committee members, because since it's a community park, it is my belief we should have community people who would like to see improvements in the city on that committee, so we can determine what it is we need. Do we want picnic tables? We want a pickleball court, whatever we want.
Okay.
And so I don't believe that's up to me. I'm just going to try to put everybody together and let the citizens make the decision about what they want to do for their park.
That's great. Fantastic. How big is that park?
Oh, I was to
know?
Guess maybe 3 or 4 acres.
So it's a pretty good size.
It's pretty good size. There was a 200-foot antenna, 95 feet. Mm-hmm. If you get over 200 feet with an antenna, you have to say
approval.
FAA and the FCC both have to get into it.
Yeah. So the tower's still out there?
No, they moved the tower.
Okay.
The city of Iguananet had a discussion, and it was determined that Iguananet would pull the tower, and they did. And that was before the roads were done, so that will give you an idea.
Wow, that's been a good long time. So is that a wooded lot?
No, it's pretty much cleared. There's a couple of trees on there.
Okay.
It just needs to be graded and the property lines marked, and that's the reason for the survey.
Some drainage created and stuff like that.
Well, and we don't want to be building a pavilion in somebody's backyard.
I get it. Yes, it makes sense. I do like the idea of having a community committee run it. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and that's the goal. We have a city workbook, if you would, a guidebook, and one of the items in the guidebook is for the city administrator to be able to appoint members to do various jobs.
Okay.
And so we'll follow those rules to the letter and put together a good working committee and do what we can. Is it going to happen this next year? No, this is going to take a while because park equipment is extremely expensive. I need to get a job where I make park equipment, I guess.
There you go.
Because it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a good business to be in.
A good business. And I want us to do it right, and I want our citizens to feel good about what we do there.
That's good, yeah. Yeah, and anything government moves at the pace of cold molasses.
Yes.
It's really, really slow. Yeah, I'm involved with a few government organizations myself, and I can sympathize with you on that.
Yeah.
So are there any other big projects that you'd like to take on that you might be able to manage in your next term?
Well, I don't know about manage, but the city Municode, and that is the document that talks about what the city will do and goes through. It has in it the jobs and responsibilities of city officials. Mm-hmm. It has a lot of information about permitting and those kinds of things. It's 176 pages long. I've gone through it twice, and I think I would, as this next year, and I've already introduced an agenda item to make a change to that.
Okay.
And there's other things I would like to go through, and I'm not going to say improve on, but I will say improve on.
Yeah.
So there's some work that needs to be done on that, and I've got this nasty habit. I tend to read things and then reread them.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm the same kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll read something 10 times just to get it to stick.
Yeah, and it's like watching the same movie 5 or 6 times. Every time you watch it, you see something different.
Yeah. Like I didn't see that in the first one.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. So that's my goal, to look at that, and whatever else I can do to help the city. There are things I'm doing right now that I hope is helping them. So.
Okay. Well, I know there's been some changes. I know that the city secretary is gone.
Yeah.
Your finance manager recently resigned, and now the city administrator has resigned. So that leaves one employee on the city side. So what's going on at Roman Forest? How come everybody's leaving?
Well, sometimes what they call it the perfect storm. Everybody has various things that come up, and
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the personal desires of each of those individuals, but I think what we need to look for is moving forward within the city. I man the desk for about 3 to 4 hours a day to help out, and my desk is across from the city courts and permits clerk.
Okay.
And I take a lot of calls and return a lot of calls. Until we get a city secretary, I intend on continuing to do that.
That's great.
That's my donation.
That's a volunteer job,
that's
right?
Volunteer, yeah. They cut. they joke with me about cutting my pay, and it says, "Well, that's a lot of negatives in front of a lot of zeros."
Well, I hope they at least buy you lunch every once in a while.
They've been good to me. They let me drink their coffee for free. What else can you ask for?
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's quite noble of you to go in and take the time to help out where they need it, because I know they do. There's a lot going on at the city of Roman Forest. I don't think a lot of people understand quite how complex and how large of just an inner working beast it is to run a city, even a small city, Yeah. And Roman Forest has always been ahead of its time as far as permitting and things like that goes. So there's a lot going on there, and I feel sorry for whoever's going to step in all those shoes, because those are going to be hard shoes to fill.
They are.
And,
they definitely are.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But everything is okay with the city, correct? I mean, there's nothing wrong. Everything's good.
No,
just changes individually.
Yeah, everybody's trying to chip in and do the best job they can and help as much as they can. A great group of people. I think the biggest problem is people don't thank the people who are there putting in the toil a lot, and they need thanks and praise for the effort that they put in. I've been in there in the evenings. We have an amateur radio club that meets there, and I've been in there, and there'd be city individuals in there working at night trying to get the job done and keep up with things.
Oh yeah.
So that's
yeah. I know personally. There's been several people who dedicate every weekend.
Yes.
I'm like, come on, you got to take off every once in a while, and maybe that's what happened. There was just some burnout involved.
There could be. One of the problems that we have is money. Now we have a balanced budget for this year. You'll see things where people, it's not balanced, but it is. They went through and spent a lot of time projecting our income, knowing what we're going to have, what we're not going to have, and coming up with a budget that fits that fits the income that we're going to have.
Okay. I
think a lot of people don't realize the amount of work and hours it takes going over line after line of numbers. And so I think they've done a great job.
Well, you can't leave nothing out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. So I can only say good things about the individuals who have put that time and money. And anybody who's had a job where they were responsible for a lot of money and many things going on within that budget they have to deal with will understand what our city has to go through every day. You have local issues, county issues, state issues, and federal issues that they have to comply with almost on a daily basis. So there's a lot going on.
Glad it's not me.
So
how often does city council meet? Is that a monthly deal?
We meet every month.
Okay.
I believe it's normally the fourth Monday of the month, unless something comes up. Which we've had happen, as people know, in the past.
Sure.
So it's and we're required by law to post that on a bulletin board out back, and as much as possible.
Yeah, everything falls under the Texas Open Meetings Act, correct?
And that's correct. And,
okay.
And we, as members of City Council, we are required to set through a training session on the Texas Open Meeting Act, and we're required to take a class about cybersecurity.
Okay.
And so. It's not just something you go into and sit down and say, "Oh well, I'm here. Have a good day. Feed me coffee." I mean, there is some effort and work and learning involved.
Right.
I learned
as well as testing.
Yeah, yes.
So I understand.
It's and they said, well, the new city council people. Well, I think if one was truthful, every day is something new for a city council meeting.
Sure.
I don't care whether you've been there for 1 week or for 5 or 10 years. Every day is something new and challenging.
Okay. Are there subcommittees that are created by city council to handle different things? Like, is there a budget subcommittee or a finance subcommittee and committees on parks, things like that?
Not as such. And what happens is the finance person gets all the data they can. Then they put that together, and we have workshops. The workshops maybe we move money from one account to another. Different things come up at the workshops.
Okay. Yeah,
and
these are decision-making workshops.
These are decision-making with.
Okay.
While the public is invited to come and listen in those workshops, you can't have a workshop and have everybody trying to tell you how to do your work.
Yeah,
You've got to be able to sit and do that. And then they have a public comments where you can come in, and we just had a public meeting on that, and we had a couple of 3 speakers. One, people wanting to know more about the police budget in one case, and wanting to know more about other items, different people. And I'm glad to see that. That means that
absolutely.
Those individuals are taking a true interest, and that's
well.
good.
That also means that the city of Roman Forest has done well with engagement. Making sure that the public is engaged. So that's great.
Excuse me. Let me shut this thing up here.
No big deal. So, is there anything that you see as being a very, very, very important issue that has to be taken care of in the next, let's say, year? I mean, is there something of detriment at the city of Roman Forest, or does the pool house have to be repaired, or it's going to fall down, or does the pool have to be redone, or does the park have to be redone? Is there something on the boulevard or anything like that? And I'm asking because I don't know. And I'm thinking maybe one of the citizens may want to know.
Well, right now the pool for some people is an issue. The pool doesn't make us money. It should not, in my mind, be a profit center. It should be something that's put together for sustained by the city for the health and welfare and enjoyment of the citizens. Okay. I do know that there's some maintenance that needs to be done on it, and that costs money. And so
it's a good sized pool.
Yes, it's a good sized pool, and there's things that you have to do. You want to make sure that it's clean. You want to make sure that it's properly sealed, that the electrical is in good. And so for right now, the splash pad, it went down early because of needing maintenance. And so we hope that it'll be back up in time for that to happen again. So we'll just have to find that out. Okay. But maintenance has done a good job on trying to maintain the grass down there. When I first got here, we had the pool, we had the old pavilion, and the pavilion was rebuilt. That some of the pool, they tried to, it just didn't come up. They didn't have the money to redo that, but they cleared the lot all the way down to the next street. And put a walking strip in that and a driveway down there so people could park, because that's where the 4th of July met. Yeah, I remember that. That was great. So there's been a lot of work down there, and they've added extra things for the kids to do. Let me get a sip of water. Okay. I've never had a problem with allergies, but recently I seem to have some. It's been horrible. It's been bad for me and the missus as well. So I certainly do understand. So do you have an opponent this time around? Yes, I do. Okay. I've met her. So you've once. Drawn an opponent. Okay. Met her once. Seems like a nice person. I don't know anything personally about her. We did talk for a couple of minutes when we drew for who was going first. And how did the drawing go? I'm number 2. Okay. And nothing wrong with that. That's good. Yeah. She's number, with 2 of us. She's number 1. Seems like a nice person. I ran against Betty Burke when she ran, and the Burke Pavilion was named after her and her husband. Right. And a sweetheart of a lady. We would meet and get together and talk with people, and she made sure everybody whether they were running against her or with her or whatever, she always had cookies.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. She was. I knew I was in trouble when everybody I talked to seems they had been in one of her grade school classes when she was teaching. Yeah, I lost that one big time. So, but things happen, and she was a sweetheart of a lady.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Jerry, you seem genuine, and I do like
Thank you.
that. I don't get a whole lot of guys in here that are running for positions that just come off as being truly genuine and wanting to do the right thing. A lot of them are in it for other reasons. So I'm glad you're in it for the right reason.
Oh, well, thank you.
I have heard that you've done rather well this past year, so I'm also impressed with that. And I just think you're going to make an excellent return, and I hope you get reelected.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I hope I do too, because there's still things I want to do to help the city.
Yeah.
And
now, how long have you been a resident of Roman Forest?
we moved here in 2005.
Okay.
So
Where'd you move from?
We moved from Atascocita.
Okay.
We moved down there in 1982. I retired from Motorola in 2005, and we sold the place up at the lake and sold the place in Atascocita, and had a home built here. We had some friends here, and it appeared to be a very nice place to live, and we've truly enjoyed it. The only thing I haven't enjoyed was some of the hurricanes and some of the big trees falling, and I'll leave the big trees falling go at that.
I get it. I really do. I understand.
So,
all right. So, Jerry, is there a way that individuals who may want to ask you a question one-on-one, is there a way they can reach you?
Yes, they can. I have a city email address now, which I didn't have before.
Awesome. Okay.
They can go to rftx.org, which is the internet site for the city.
Okay.
And go down under City Council, and they'll see a picture of me with my city email address under it.
Okay.
I'm there. I will be willing to talk to anybody when I'm there helping the city.
So you're there Monday through Friday?
As much as I can be. If I have a doctor's appointment or something like that where I can't be there, but otherwise I try to be there every day, at least in the afternoons.
Wow.
And quite often, if Chantel, the city court and the permit clerk has to be gone, I try to be there when she's gone, because otherwise that leaves the city administrator by himself, and he's got enough to do. So I try to take care of the phones and take care of people at the window and direct them where they need to go and help whoever I can. But yes, and if they want to talk to me, I'll be glad to talk to them. Stop me on the street if you want, and I'll be glad to talk to them anytime.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. Jerry Reasner. So if you live in Roman Forest and you have the ability to vote, I know you're going to get out there and vote. Just make it smart decisions. Base it upon things that you know, and interviews like this where you get to know somebody. But Jerry Reasner, he's already on council. He's running for a second term, and these are 2-year terms.
2-year terms, yes.
2-year terms. So if you have any questions, get in touch with him. Send him an email. Stop at the city hall, which is always a good thing, and do a quick face-to-face. I'm Hank Vatt. This is Hank's Think Tank, and we'll see you in the next one.